Alright, so I've been planning this video for about a week now, and I have been researching a lot about Elon Musk. Now, Elon Musk is one of the greatest billionaires to have ever lived. He's now creating AI, which is called XAI, and I know a lot of you guys aren't that much into Twitter. He recently rebranded to X, and everybody's calling him completely delusional or crazy. But I was a huge 1 trillion plan for the Tesla stock. And that's pretty crazy to say. Tesla is already severely pumping, and the next few months it could pump even more. So, what's really Elon Musk's plan in the following months might be very shocking. As you know, recently, AI has been exploding from left and right. We saw AI go up and down. But something that Elon Musk is now completely focusing on is AI itself. Not only is he going to build robots in the far future, which is already completely insane when we look on what happens in the next 5 years, but the old Twitter platform also has a huge plan. And in my opinion, X, the new Twitter platform, is actually gonna be a big servant for Tesla. Now, the everything app, as Musk calls it, X, is actually gonna benefit the companies. Right now, it lost a huge chunk of user base, but just imagine, Tesla is huge. It needs a social media platform. It needs users, Tesla users, to be on the forums. Guess what? Everyone buying a Tesla, everyone owning a Tesla that they're only gonna get cheaper and cheaper. Yes, Teslas are now for the top 10%, top 20% of the US population. They cost about $70,000 to $90,000. Once we get Tesla's $25,000 truck, once we get AI robots that are going to help you building and moving things, that are going to help senior people in their daily activities such as shower, preparing food, going into that, Tesla will actually expand in other things. Now, Tesla also has a small TV platform from what I researched, and they're also making fridges and TVs. Microchips are basically the future. Now, if we look at that, imagine, right now, they're going huge on the microchips. And the cars. Now, there's a huge shortage of microchips. As you know, microchips are used in everything. They're used in computers, they're used in GPUs, they're used in cars. But something that really sparked my mind is NVIDIA. NVIDIA is going huge on AI, and there's like a huge shortage of these microchips now. Elon Musk recently offered to buy the NVIDIA chips, and he couldn't get on hands with them because he's building an AI supercomputer. Now, imagine, once they perfect the Tesla cars to be self-driving, once they perfect the robots to be self-fulfilling, they won't need any maintenance, where do we go next? Now imagine you have a fridge that is gonna tell you what type of food you need, what type of food you want, how much calories is in that food, what type of, when you go next time to the store, or you send your Tesla robot to the store, what type of food you are missing for your cake recipe. Then you have an oven that's gonna automatically cook for you, that's gonna automatically cut things for you. And I think this is gonna happen in the next 10 to 20 years. This is the power of AI. I mean, it sounds crazy right now. It's 60 years. People would call it crazy on the street if they heard this was happening. But in my opinion, this is gonna be the next big thing. This is why Elon Musk is going so huge on the AI platforms.
Probably some humans using AI to influence the public in ways they don't understand.
You're already seeing that. ChatGPT is ideological. It's very preachy.
Yes.
If you ask it, extremely preachy.
You mean woke GPT?
It's unbelievable.
Yes.
If you spend 20 minutes asking it questions of actual relevance, modern relevance, it will start lecturing you about your moral shortcomings. Like, how did that happen?
Well, this is a function of OpenAI's headquarters being in downtown San Francisco. So the politics, therefore, of the AI are that of San Francisco. So
why would it have any politics at all? I mean, that seems like subversion.
Well, they have what's called like human reinforcement learning, which is another way of saying that they have a whole bunch of people that look at the output of GPT-4 and then say whether that's okay or not okay. And so so essentially what's happening is they're training the AI to lie.
Yes.
It's bad.
To lie. That's
lie.
exactly right. And to withhold information.
To lie and yes, and yeah, exactly. To either comment on some things, not comment on other things, but not to say what the data actually demands that it say.
Exactly. How did it get this way? I thought you funded it at the beginning. What happened?
Yeah, well, that'll be ironic. But the most ironic outcome is the most likely, it seems.
When Elon Musk bought Twitter, a lot of people disagree with him. But here is why I see this a pretty good point. All of these companies, all of these products Elon Musk is making, they will need a discussion. They will need help forums. They will need any type of reviews. Where will they go? They will go to the X, everything platform. He's trying to make all of his companies, all of his product, which in the future is going to be robots. When I'm talking about the future, this could be in the next 5 to 10 years. And I do see Elon Musk boosting Tesla to 1 trillion. This is insane right now, but once they release a $25,000 car, they could potentially release cheaper and cheaper cars, make cheaper chips. The market is going to be more competitive. Right now, Tesla cars with self-driving feature, they're like $10,000 to $15,000, which is a lot. It is a lot. Let's be realistic. Nobody can afford $15,000 just like that for the general population. But once we get cars that are going to be $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, and are going to be self-driving, guess what? They're going to be using a lot of this self-driving for the robots that I'm talking about right now. The robots that are going to be carrying things, the robots that are going to be helping people overall. And I think, in my personal opinion, the Everything app for Twitter could be a huge boost to people coming into the platform. They're not going to be using it to type about their favorite food, but instead they're going to be using it as for talking about Tesla stock, talking about Tesla's performance, talking about the Tesla car, showing pictures of being out in the wild. And I think this is a very huge difference that a lot of people don't realize, how Tesla could be recently going to 1 trillion. Investors will be flocking in. Right now, what we're seeing is tons of people are buying the Tesla stock. The market is on a downturn. The market is on an upturn. Nobody knows. But companies like these, like Tesla, definitely have a 10 to 15 year future, in my honest opinion, because AI is the next big thing. We're getting an older and older population. Everyone is getting much older, and there's less young people willing to work, or there's just less people in general that want to do these types of things. So who do we find? We have to find replacements, and that's where AI comes so huge. And Tesla has a huge advantage. Like, now their competitor is Nvidia, which is super valued, actually doubled in the next few months, which is completely insane. But the big thing about Nvidia is it has a lot of potential, but Tesla is now competing with it, and it already has the self-driving feature. Now, of course, the self-driving feature needs a lot of work, but it does have that fair advantage. So it kind of proves my point that the Everything app, how Tesla cars will work in the future, like we saw the Cybertruck now, this is just the start. Tesla is going to release, 5 to 15 cars in the following years, and they're going to be focusing on other technologies such as fridges, such as ovens, maybe even having your own personal robot working in the house that's going to be self-evolving and helping you with all these tasks, so we can focus on your work, focus on your passion, and potentially we won't have to work in the next 30 years because all of these regulations will come in place, and all the robots will make the crops for us, will make the food for us. It might sound crazy now, but check this video 10 years later on, for example, and potentially we're making a step forward.
So all of a sudden AI is everywhere. People who weren't quite sure what it was are playing with it on their phones. Is that good or bad?
Artificial insemination?
Yes, artificial insemination. It's everywhere.
That's what they call it in the ag industry.
I'm talking about a more digital form. Yes.
So I've been thinking about AI for a long time, since I was in college, really. It was one of the things that, the sort of 4 or 5 things I thought would really affect the future dramatically. It is fundamentally profound in that the smartest creatures, as far as we know, on this earth are humans. Is our defining characteristic.
Yes.
We're obviously weaker than, say, chimpanzees, and less agile, but we are smarter. So now what happens when something vastly smarter than the smartest person comes along in silicon form? It's very difficult to predict what will happen in that circumstance. It's called the singularity. It's a singularity like a black hole, because you don't know what happens after that. It's hard to predict. So I think we should be cautious with AI, and I think there should be some government oversight, because it affects it's a danger to the public. And so when you have things that are a danger to the public, like, let's say, so food and drugs. That's why we have the Food and Drug Administration,
right,
and the Federal Aviation Administration, the FCC. We have these agencies to oversee things that affect the public, where there could be public harm, and you don't want companies cutting corners on safety, and then having people suffer as a result. So that's why I've actually for a long time been a strong advocate of.
Now, if this video hasn't convinced you that AI and Tesla is going to change the world, let me know down in the comments below why not. And also subscribe so I can further prove my point. I think it makes a very fair point that Tesla is going huge on AI, such as NVIDIA, such as all these big companies. And in 2, 1, 3, nobody knows how many years from now, we're going to be seeing that big change that everybody was waiting for. And it could be a multi-trillion-dollar business by the time we get there. If you guys want more content like this, subscribe. I'm trying to get to 100,000 subscribers. And I'll keep you guys updated with more news. Peace, everyone.